Welfare Law of Federation of Nigeria 2004 to include Anambra State as one of the members of NDDC states. I so move.
You can continue.
Colleagues, this bill seeks to amend 3 sections. This bill seeks to amend Section 2, Section 4, Section 30 of the NDDC Act. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, recall that this bill was read for the first time 21st of November 2023, and Anambra State has been recognized or gazetted as NDDC, as one of the NDDC states, having been contributing to federation accounts vis-a-vis the oil companies in Anambra State, exploring and producing more than 150,000 barrels of oil per day. Mr. President, the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission, RAFMAC, in its 139th plenary held on 2021 July 27th, approved more than 14 oil blocks, as well as gazetted Anambra State as one of the states oil producing in Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, Mr. President, they didn't stop at that. They went far to communicate to the federal government of Nigeria vis-a-vis Mr. President. And in November 2021, Anambra State started receiving 13% derivation from federal government. Hence, in a letter on their gazette, Anambra State has been adjourned and tabled as oil-producing state in Nigeria. As we are talking today, Anambra State contributes a sizable number in the revenue that is accruable to this country. And the state receives over 800 million or roughly monthly as our percentage, 30% derivation. So this bill seeks to just to formalize that Anambra State will be the 10th state as one of the states in this Niger Delta Development State, vis-a-vis making it formal for Anambra State to be in NDDC. The Section 2 of the Act, or the amendment we are seeking, is seeking to insert Anambra State and to renumber so that after Akwa Ibom, Anambra State will come. Then Section 4 is also to insert Anambra State to be the 10th state, while Section 30 will be that immediately after Anambra State, Akwa Ibom State, Anambra State will follow. Distinguished colleagues, I want to appeal to you to support this bill to be read second time. Since Anambra State has started receiving 13% derivation from federal government since 2021 November till today, passing this bill for the second time and going for the committee and also coming back, if this Senate, the National Assembly deem it fit to pass bill, will get a long way to make it, to formalize the end of the journey. Distinguished colleagues, Mr. President, I so move. Thank you.
Abbas.
If Anambra State is enjoying 13% derivation more than other states that are on the list of the Niger Delta Development Authority, I see no reason why Anambra should be included as one of the states. They are enjoying more than 2 or 3 states on record of 30% derivation. That means they contribute more than some of the states. And if federal government, if Revenue Mobilization and Allocation Fiscal Commission have recognized Anambra State as oil-producing state, I call on the senior colleagues to support this bill to include Anambra as one of the oil-producing states in Nigeria.
Let me give you information. This Development Commission came as a child of circumstance, a child of necessity, as a result of the massive destruction of the Northeast by Boko Haram and other insurgents, specifically and the number of IDPs created and all that. To rebuild that area, Northeast Development Commission was created. Subsequently, we now have banditry in Katsina, where a lot of people are being killed in Katsina and some places in Zamfara. Zamfara is in Northwest. It is not because Zamfara has insecurity or Katsina has insecurity. We now carry Zamfara and Katsina and Kaduna and put in Northeast. The Niger Delta has a geographical location. It's a geographical definition. Just like somebody would say the Bight of Biafra. The Bight of Biafra is on the maritime territory of Nigeria, and it's so defined. We cannot bring Sokoto and put in the Bight of Biafra in the maritime territory. As I speak, investigation has shown that any state that produces oil gets 13%. So Lagos State is getting 13% because in Badagry, Lagos has 2 oil wells. Cumulatively, they produce about 9,000 barrels of crude oil a day. I think they call it either Laje 1 and Laje 2, I remember. But they are all concentrated in Badagry local government. They are getting their 13%. Anambra is getting its 13%. And then we are expecting Kogi to, if they've started production, to also get its 13%. In addition, the National Assembly has also created the host communities. The host communities, all producing host communities under the PIA, and they are part of it, and a certain percentage is being given to them. But the geographical location of Northeast and the geographical location of Niger Delta makes Niger Delta to include the mangrove swamp forest of Ondo. It makes Niger Delta to involve the swamp forest of Abia. It makes Niger Delta to involve the swamp forest and of Imo River, that is Imo State. And so by the time you look at what we call NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, it involves 9 states as a geographical location. So the first thing you will do is that you have to change the word Niger Delta if you want to include Kaduna. So you have to change the word Niger Delta. So it's no longer for Niger Delta. If you want to involve Zamfara in Northeast Development Commission, you have to change the word Northeast Development Commission because Zamfara is in Northwest. If you want to involve Katsina, you have to, I'm just guiding. The decision is that of the Senate. So can I listen to Senator Oshole?
I am convinced that the whole essence of the NDDC, Niger Delta Development Commission, is different from the Ministry of Niger Delta. And the whole essence of that is to say that those who are responsible for producing oil require special and specific attention. The fact that any state, including Lagos, certainly in this case, Anambra State, to the extent that they are contributing to oil production, and therefore to that extent they also suffer the environmental hazard associated with oil production. I think they deserve to be treated just like any other state that is an oil-producing state. The immediate benefit of this is that they will be entitled to a commissioner on the board of Niger Delta Commission. That way, they will benefit from the special development attention that is paid to the fact that
those states that are producing oil, there are certain environmental issues associated with oil production. I could go on and on and on, but I believe, with due respect, Mr. President, that without necessarily amending the word Niger Delta, because even that, by definition, it can be expanded, it can be made more restrictive, but there's nothing in my view that makes it impossible for us to add Anambra State, or indeed any other state that is oil producing. It's about equity, it's about justice, it's about fairness. I hereby support the motion. I think it has all the merit, and I implore my colleagues to so support. Thank you, Mr. President.
Delta, and we add Kogi to Niger Delta, and we add Lagos to Niger Delta, and I think Bauchi is producing oil now. We add Bauchi to Niger Delta. We add Kogi, we add Lagos. Lagos, I discovered that Lagos has two wells operating in Badagry, and they are producing almost 10,000 barrels a day. So, but they are not part of Niger Delta because you have to look at the history of the formation of Northeast Development Commission and the history of the formation of Niger Delta. So, but if it is the view of the Senate that we add Anambra, I will also suggest that we add Kogi, then we add Bauchi, and we add Lagos and others to NDDC immediately. So yes,
Bayelsa West. Mr. President, let me first of all recognize the point that has been well made, that Anambra is one of the new states joining the league of older states that have been producing oil for over 70 years. And we say they are welcome on board. Now, on this issue of this bill seeking to make Anambra part of the NDDC states, Mr. President, with all due respect to my good friend who has brought this motion today, I disagree. Because it doesn't align, as Mr. President had guided before, doesn't align with the history behind the establishment of the NDDC by law. Mr. President and my dear colleagues should take their minds back, even before the independence of this country, how the Willings Commission sat 1957 in Lancaster House in London and agreed for the establishment of a special development area for the Niger Delta. The Niger Delta is one of the 9 basins in the world. We are talking of a basin, a Niger Delta basin. And that's how we had this concept of that geographical area, which over time now involves a number of other states, because it's a basin. Like you said, in Ondo State, it's part of it. Abia, Imo, not even the whole of it, but parts of those states. And because parts of those states are part of that area, that basin, those states were considered to be part of the Niger Delta. Even at that time, Mr. President, there were a lot of discussions as to whether the name that should be given for that development should be the existing oil mineral producing areas development bill, UMPADEC. Being an oil producing area qualifies you to belong to the membership of the oil producing states, UMPADEC as it were. That would have been better. That argument was brought. But NDDC came as an executive bill. And the then president, when he was forwarding it, in order to address the challenges that were now coming from the area that is Niger Delta, decided to caption it the Niger Delta Development Commission, instead of the existing UMPADEC. So that was the misnomer which a number of people up till now query with. So, Mr. President, I want to urge my dear colleagues, and in particular the mover of this motion, that we do not have a South-South Development Commission. It's not. Now, this bill seeking to make Anambra a member of the NDDC states will make absolute nonsense of the concept of Niger Delta development. Because it will mean that now that oil has been reported to have been found in Gombe State in the northeast will now be said to be a member of the NDDC state. It will not make sense. We may have to look for another way, maybe of going back to establish the Oil Mineral Producing Areas Development Commission. That way, yes, OMPADEC. Yes, we have to go back to OMPADEC. That way, anytime oil is found in commercial quantity, and we pray that every state in this country should be producing oil so that they will see what we have been seeing, and the country will gain more. So we have no problems that oil has been discovered in Anambra or in Gombe or Sokoto or Adamawa. The more, the merrier, so that all can contribute to our national development. But, Mr. President, to stretch it too far, to include Anambra State, Gombe State, Sokoto State, Adamawa, anywhere that oil is found, to be part of a commission meant to address the problems of the Niger Delta Basin will be too much of a stress. So I understand the fact it has been established, which is that they already are benefiting derivation. What the Constitution requires as compensation for places, for states and local communities that produce oil is to get 13% derivation. They are getting it. Any other thing about the host communities' rights and so on, whoever produces gets it. But to say that this Senate should be invited, that anywhere oil is produced or found should be part of Niger Delta will be too much. So I want to advise that maybe this bill should be stepped down. Maybe it should be stepped down. So that, yes, it's a bill. It's a bill. It's not a motion. It's a bill to amend the NDDC Act. I think that we should step down this for further consultation so that we can look at all these things and possibly examine the possibility of other options, including the oil mineral producing areas development, some that can encompass any. We will address this Anambra and any other one in the future. So, but I move that this bill be either withdrawn if the mover so thinks, or we step it down for further consultation. Thank you, sir.
Well-intentioned the bill is. We cannot take Cameroon or Congo and put in ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States. It's a geographical location. It's a geographical location. I just came back from Namibia. Namibia is part of SADC. SADC. They are not part of ECOWAS. So if you are not part of Northeast, you are not part of Northeast. But if you want to amend the bill and call it Northeast/Northwest Development Commission, that will now encompass Zamfara State. That will now include Sokoto State. That will include Katsina. But so long as it is called Northeast Development Commission, to go and bring Zamfara and bring Katsina means that we are now changing the geographical location called Northeast, irrespective of the history of how it came about. But I think that the former OMPADEC, Oil Mineral Development Producing Commission, is something that may be considered so that it will even include other solid minerals, not just crude oil. It's just oil mineral producing. And you include solid minerals. You include solid minerals. Because as we speak now, with all prospecting, we are even thinking we are likely to discover oil at in Kano. No, it's true. No, Lake Chad region, Lake Chad Basin, we are going to discover. So you cannot come and put Lake Chad Basin as part of Niger Delta. Lake Chad River Basin Authority. So if you say, if you discover oil in Lake Chad, then you now bring Kano and Borno and put inside Niger Delta. It simply means that we are bereft of ideas of how to accommodate. Already they are getting 13%, and by PIA, they are members of the host communities, which they are also getting allocation from. So, but this one of Niger Delta, NDDC, I know that there are many considerations for NDDC. For me, as we are considering measures for certain commissions, we can also even consider the possibility of segregating some of these things and then making sure that areas that need to come together, come together. But Kogi has oil now, Anambra has oil, then Lagos has oil, Gombe now has oil. Are we going to bring Lagos, Gombe, and Kogi under Ankano and Ogun? Even Ebonyi has oil. Ebonyi has palm oil. Are we going to bring and Bauchi? Yes, Bauchi. Thank you, Senator Shehu Boba. Bauchi has oil. So are we going to bring all of them under Niger Delta? It's a geographical location. So I don't. How are you going to rule on this? yeah. Asukwa, say something.
Can I read it, sir? I will read 1A and then B. The proceedings in the Senate and in all committees of the Senate shall be conducted in accordance with the following standing orders. In all cases, B, in all cases not provided for in this standing order or by sessional or other orders of practice of the Senate shall by resolution regulate its procedure. We have been arguing about either to stand down a bill or to continue. And looking at the time, sir, it's 2:39. We have so many other meetings. I want to appeal to Mr. President and my distinguished colleagues that we stand down every order of the day and adjourn for another legislative day. Thank you, Mr. President.
A lot of arguments have been profiled for and against this bill. Slight historical background had also been given to the formation of certain commissions, such as the UNPADEC, such as the defunct UNPADEC, such as the Niger Delta Development Commission, such as the Northeast Development Commission, etc. The chambers recognizes the need for most of the zones to have additional development outside what their governors are doing. And at the moment, I know that we are at the verge of passing the Southwest Development Commission, and that Southeast Development Commission has already been passed. Southeast Development Commission has been passed. And we have also tried to explain that the word Niger Delta is limiting. That is why, even though Lagos is getting its derivation, it is not part of Niger Delta Development Commission, even though Anambra is getting is derivation, 13%. It is not part of Niger Delta. And I think Kogi is about to produce or producing. And so it's getting its 13% derivation. And it's also a member of the host community, according to the PIA. Thank you. Not member of Niger Delta. Okay. So in other words, Senator Issa Jibrin is saying that unless we expand the word Niger Delta to include any state in Nigeria found with oil, whether it is Sokoto, whether it is Kano, we should call that state Niger Delta. We have a responsibility as lawmakers. We have a responsibility to guide and to be able to, so that we don't make a mockery of ourselves. I would like to ask distinguished Senator Nwoye whether, one, would he like to withdraw the bill for further consultations, or will he want us to put the question? Or will he want to step it down for further consultations in view of what other states are saying? So, distinguished Senator Nwoye, please, will you want to step it down for further consultations, or do you want us to put the question?
Thank you, colleagues, for this honor. But I want to give a very important information before I answer, sir. Kogi State is not receiving 30% derivation as of today.
The man from Kogi said they are receiving.
Wait.
Senator Issa Jibrin, use your mic. So if you are producing, you have to receive.
It's on record, sir, that Anambra State is receiving 13% derivation since 2021 November. And as of today, Kogi State is not receiving a dime from federal government. So far,
can I see the record that mentioned that Kogi is not receiving anything? What you showed me was that Anambra has been getting 13% from 2021. I also inform you that as Minister of Niger Delta, that getting is 13% from 2 oil wells in Badagry, and so, but is not member of Niger Delta area. So,
colleague and my distinguished brother.
It's not the question. The question is not about Kogi. The question is not about Lagos. The question is not about Gombe. Can Kogi produce oil and not receive the 13%?
Give you a copy until, wait, allow me, sir. With due respect, sir. I want to correct an impression, sir, on the issue of boundary.
That letter you have is addressed to you, based on Anambra, not on Kogi. Let the senator from Kogi also write, like you wrote. You are not hearing what I'm saying, Tony. You wrote to the commission percent to Anambra, and they responded yes, that since 2021, they are paying 13% to Anambra on the oil produced in Anambra. That's what you said. So why are you concerned about Kogi? Because Kogi is not in issue.
With due respect, Mr. Nwoye, I want you to limit yourself to your presentation and to your state. What happens in Kogi State is entirely it's not your business. I am telling you that information getting to me shows that Kogi has been receiving. If that information, sorry please, if that information is wrong, if that information is wrong, I will get back to Kogi and get the correct information. But that is not what we are saying now. That is not what we are saying. Nobody is misinforming anybody. Nobody is misinforming anybody. Okay? Limit yourself to your bill and defend it. Okay? Yet, what I am saying is this.
Okay. Well, the decision-making has a lot of processes. After this, it will still go to the House of Representatives. It will still go to the presidency and all that. And I would like us to also do justice to other states that are receiving their 13% derivation. I'm aware that Lagos has since been producing oil, both offshore and onshore, but the onshore oil gets 13%, but the offshore is beyond 200 meters isobath required by law, and so they couldn't get 13% on that. So, however, yes, Wasu, I can hear you. The Niger Delta is a geographical expression encompassing the creeks and areas and states that are part of the Niger Delta region. I don't think it will be correct for us because Kogi is producing oil or Zamfara produces oil tomorrow. Bauchi, we have already found oil. Then we put all of them under Niger Delta. I think we will need a more holistic approach to the law. Even it might mean changing the long title of the act and then trying to also mention those states, because as at now, the law that we have mentions the states that make up Niger Delta inside the act in section 4. So if we want to add another state, we must give reason why that state is Niger Delta. It is not just because it produces oil. But the question I want to put to distinguished Senator Nwoye now is, do you want us to step this down for further consultations, or do you want us to put the question?
I feel that I will leave at the discretion of the Senate because of the fact that it's not only based on the fact that oil is found in Gombe and other areas. These 90% of these oil wells are located between Doni and the Obaru local government. That place, check the map of Niger Delta. The Obaru people of Anambra State, they speak the same dialect with the Doni people. So by extension, despite the fact that they're in Anambra State, they share almost everything with Niger Delta people. And that is where these oil wells are located. That is where these oil exploration activities are being done.
So in other words, distinguished, it will be for them to explain to us if Anambra State is part of Niger Delta. It's not for us as a Senate to go into geography. It will be good for the National Boundary Commission to explain it to us. But because I don't want us to be dragged into an issue that is so simple, if you were not getting your 13% derivation, that would have been a different thing. But since you are getting that, and also, you are also a member of the PIA, that is the host communities, as set up by the Act of Parliament today, and therefore you are also gaining. Those communities are also gaining from the host communities funds. I don't think we should be in a hurry to redefine Niger Delta to include Anambra, Gombe, and all that, but be that as it may, let us put the question. Distinguished colleagues, those who are in support of the argument that this bill be now read a second time, to go for second reading, say aye. Those against say nay. The nays have it. Leader of the Senate.